So LeBron James has been out since Christmas, and while that game against the Warriors was great for this Lakers team, the rest of the season, past Christmas of course, not totally the same as that game, as they have the worst offense in the league. They do have one of the best defenses, so give them credit for that. But without LeBron, this team has had a tough time scoring, so I guess we can look at how is this going to affect the rest of the season. Is this going to potentially knock them out of the playoff race? Because, of course, we know how it is in the Western Conference. I believe the Lakers are tied for the 8th seed at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. They are. They are tied with the 8th seed with the Jazz, and the Kings are only a half game back. The Pelicans are only 2.5 games back. I mean, it's tough out there. And, of course, without LeBron, it's going to be a lot tougher. So I think the one thing we have to remember is, while of course the Lakers would love to be as good as they possibly can this season, the name of the game for them is the cap space. These are the moves that they've been making for a couple years now to have the money to get one star. They got the big one, and now to get another one to pair up with LeBron so they can compete for titles and all that stuff. So if that means that LeBron is going to sit an extra 2 weeks, then come in maybe a week early, then I think that they're going to go with the conservative approach. Now, maybe they're desperate to make the playoffs. I don't know if Magic Johnson's going to have some sort of mandate that says, hey, the moment LeBron's good to go, get him out there. But if you made me pick, I feel like he's still going to be like, nah, we're going to make sure LeBron can be good for next season. And I'm sure they want to keep the guy for as long as they can. I mean, he's 34, but depending on how you manage his minutes and injuries like this one, you may be able to have this guy go until he's 39, 40 years old, because I think, sure, even if he's not going to be a big-time scorer by the time he's older, there's a decent chance he's still going to be a really good player. Maybe he averages 17 points and 9 assists and like 6 rebounds a game or something. I don't know. And of course, things like this and the way you deal with this are going to affect all that stuff. So that's the first thing, which could be great for the future. As far as the right now, it might not be good, because for all the things that I could suggest about how this team can improve their offense, it may not happen because the talent here is, it's not the best when it comes to putting the ball in the hole, right? I mean, Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma have been asked to have more ball handling duties. I think they're both proving that that's just not their natural thing. I mean, maybe Brandon Ingram can get to that point, but up to this point, it's not totally a thing. And I'm saying all this while also acknowledging that he had 7 assists last night against the Bulls. Kuzma is having a tough time with just reading defenses. He's dribbling into tight coverage a lot, and neither one of these guys are really passers. I mean, the only real playmaker now, given that Rondo's also hurt, is Lonzo. And I'll talk about Lonzo a bit, but you know, with Ingram and Kuzma, their turnover percentages are nearly as high as their assist percentages since December 26th, and of course, that's not ideal for the guys who, do they lead the team in usage? They effectively do, because they play more than Beasley and Mo Wagner, who are technically up there as well, so yeah, that's going to be tough to score. And of course, the shooting on this team outside of basically KCP, because Josh Hart hasn't had LeBron to create offense for him, has been pretty rough. Anyway, let me get to Lonzo. So, Lonzo's got to be more aggressive. He's team first, potentially to a fault. And when I say more aggressive, I'm not really talking about like shooting the threes that he likes to shoot. I know he's actually had a good 3-point percentage this month, but I mean, does anybody expect that to hold up? You know, just attacking the pick and roll more, attacking a little bit more in transition. The times where it's like, this could be a layup, it could be a pass out, maybe it should be a layup, or at least an attempt a couple more times. Granted, he's not a good free throw shooter, and this team is not a good free throw shooting team. I mean, I believe they're like last in the league in free throw percentage over the last month or so. So even though they're actually shooting quite a few free throws, they're effectively not shooting that many, if that made any sense. They're shooting a lot, but they're not going in. But let me get back to Lonzo. I got a little sidetracked there. I do know that teams are going to go under the screen on him, so it's not like he can attack every single time with a runway to the basket. But you can at least attack a couple more times a game. you know? And I do think he's got the speed with the ball in order to do that. And while the box score numbers, they're never beautiful with Lonzo. There are the games where he has like 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Again, part of that, more aggressive, those will go up. But the other thing is he just has this calming vibe to him where it just seems like the team makes a little bit more sense when Lonzo's out there. So I think it's also hurting them that their offensive rebounding percentage is not towards the top of the league ever since LeBron went out. I think that should have been a team mandate that says, look guys, we're going to have a tough time scoring, so attack the boards like crazy people. They're 17th in offensive rebound percentage. Like, it's basically impossible for you to be a good offensive team when you're mid-tier in offensive rebounding, you're shooting 65% from the line, and you've got like 2 guys who can make threes. As far as ways they can correct those things, I mean, just tell guys to attack the boards, like I just said. The threes and the free throws, it is what it is. They signed Lance Stevenson and Michael Beasley and whoever the hell else, and Rajon Rondo. Granted, I think Rondo can help him right now, but, you know, it's what happens, man. Maybe they should have re-signed Brook Lopez. That's a thing that's been talked about. I know Tyson Chandler and JaVale have been kind of okay this year, but at the same time, it's like Lopez's shooting could have definitely helped you, and defensively, I don't think he's that bad. So yeah, if we look at the upcoming schedule for this team, they have the Thunder and the Rockets. It's already been said that LeBron is not going to travel with them. There is a chance that they will score like 60 points against OKC. The best defensive team in the league, the worst defensive team over the last month. It could be pretty rough. Now, they could also lock up the Thunder because OKC's offense is pretty rough, depending on the type of night that Russ has shooting the ball. So that might be another tough game to watch. Or Russ will drop 37 and it'll be a blowout. Next, they're facing the Rockets. I mean, Houston's defense has been pretty rough, and now they don't have Clint Capella, so I think they could have a chance there. But, of course, James Harden could just score 50 points and shoot 23s. You would hope that LeBron will be back for the Warriors game, because if he's not, that could be a guaranteed loss. Then again, the Lakers have beaten the Warriors at least one time in LA, and it depends on if the Warriors are really all in on that game. Then you got the T-Wolves, you got the Suns, which is a winnable game. Philly is going to be a tough one. The Clippers is going to be tough. Then you're going to Golden State early February. This next stretch is really going to decide a lot with this Lakers team. And I think we should remember, just because LeBron's going to come back at some point, I don't think that means for a fact that everything will just be fine. Because number one, we don't know if the injury is going to affect him when he comes back. But the other thing is, even before LeBron got hurt, this team was already showing some cracks in the armor. I mean, they were like 2-4 before Christmas. And some of it was just, you know, sometimes the offense would slow down to the point where, sure, LeBron may be great, but he can't just bail you out every single game. There would be weird stretches where the defense would just fall apart, like when they gave up 128 points to the Wizards. So, just saying, there's a chance LeBron comes back and it's actually still kind of rough. It's definitely not going to be this bad. I mean, you can put LeBron on almost any team in the league and you're guaranteed to be, at worst, like the 14th best offense. So, they'll still have a chance, but it is going to be kind of rough. I mean, again, I think Lonzo being more aggressive, Luke perhaps getting a little bit more creative with some of his sets, telling guys to attack the offensive boards, and yeah, I mean, you can only go so far with the talent you're given, but they could perhaps still do a few different things.